Why is Jon Taffer not a good person? Jon Taffer was the Gordon Ramsay of bars, one of the most notorious bartenders in the world who yelled, screamed, and berated failing bar owners to help them bounce back. As a bar rescue host, Taffer visits some pretty shocking bars with some pretty horrifying issues. And while those issues may seem obvious from the outside, how he fixes them is occasionally inspiring. This great library of marketing and business knowledge was built up surprisingly. Number 1. Started his career by losing $600,000 in a bet. During an interview with Business Insider in 2015, Taffer acknowledged that he had faced some challenges along the way. He understands precisely what some of the owners of Bar Rescue are experiencing now. Despite being quiet about most of the details of his first business failure, he has admitted that he lost $600,000 on it. Take a moment to process that. $600,000. Taffer says he made the wrong choice as a business partner. Despite friends' warnings to not partner up with one person, those lessons were learned too hard. I did the deal, he said. Since getting scammed out of $600,000, he has been cautious about ever having a partner. That's a valuable lesson, but it also shows he's walked in the shoes of those seeking assistance. Number 2, his actions resulted in making a lot of people angry. When the Huffington Post ran its 2016 interview with Taffer, Bar Rescue had more than 100 episodes under its belt, and to say it caused an outrage shocking proportions is an understatement. On Twitter, bartenders and experts across the country criticized him for some of his statements. This reactionary side of the discussion was reported by Munchies. Some of the comments that garnered the most attention dealt with the claim that tequila, mezcal, and mescaline are somehow related and have hallucinogenic effects. Besides being completely false, the employees of Del Monte Mezcal were quick to point out how it is precisely the urban legend they have been focused on dispelling. It's not the only time the industry giants have called him out, and he's received criticism for other drinks that he has made on TV via Drink Philly. Number 3, he was involved in cringy promotions for a bar. Viewers know he can be quite sore about a large range of issues, including employers and employees who create an uncomfortable working environment for women. However, he's also been behind some strange promotions, and he told the New York Times the full story via Philadelphia. 1982 saw Taffer introduce a contest called Thanks to the Mama Marys, which gave girls a chance to win a breast augmentation through a 10-week competition. Wow. As a bar rescue host, Taffer visits some pretty shocking bars with some pretty horrifying issues, and while those issues may seem obvious from the outside, how he fixes them is occasionally inspiring. This extraordinary library of marketing and business knowledge was built up surprisingly. Continuing to defend his action by saying it was a different time, he said, "It was a very different political time. I did midget throwing in Long Beach. We used to throw them, so it was a unique time. I would never do that today." Number 4, he started it with his bars after encounters. Taffer's work is based on bar science, which sounds like something entirely made up, but Taffer says he became interested in studying the psychology of bars after a chance encounter made him realize just how much of an impact a bar's layout can have on customers, their interactions, and their consumption of alcohol. An observer spoke with him regarding the incident in which he saw a man scouting out a pretty girl when he was sitting in a bar one day. In an attempt to appear calm, he ran into a dead end. When he realized what he was doing, it became painfully obvious. There would have been no embarrassment if Taffer had installed a staircase. At that point, Taffer knew that watching how the environment influenced behavior was vital to building a successful nightclub, bar, or restaurant. Number 5, he was once fired his whole support staff for his game. The one thing Taffer doesn't tolerate is skimmers, whether they are skimming through the registers, overpouring, or offering free drinks. The entrepreneur has always maintained this attitude ever since he worked in nightclubs as a teenager. In an interview with Vice, he said that when he came to Barney's Beanery after dropping out of college at 24, he was immediately pulled aside and told that the staff had agreed to take $100 from him each night that they worked, as not doing so could throw off the books. He was considered obligated to do so. As opposed to joining in, Taffer set the tone for his career by establishing himself as a pioneer of sorts. He became the lead bartender when a case was filed against him, and that case required all support staff to be fired.